Charleston has been wonderful. I'm bummed out that we only could stay a couple of days, but I feel like we squeezed a lot into this. We worked a little bit yesterday. We secured some furniture, which is very exciting because that's been a daunting task. We are here today to finish work again, and I've had my favorite coffee shop 2 days in a row now.
Yep.
So it's been a great trip. When we were looking into expansion, we planned an East Coast road trip. We also had made a bunch of stops around the state of Florida, like St. Augustine, Fort Myers, places like that, but we just couldn't find anything that really spoke to us that we thought would fit well for the business. And then we had the road trip, and the first stop on this East Coast road trip was Charleston. And right away, we kind of knew that this was it. We toured this exact space. It was the first stop on our road trip, the first space that we toured. We fell in love with it, and then for the rest of the trip, nothing else compared.
No.
So this is an old building, and it actually used to be a haberdashery years ago. It was a men's hat store, and I'm sure you've heard the term Mad Hatter. It's actually coined because they used mercury when creating hats, and it made men go insane. So that is where the coin Mad Hatter came from. So some of that occurred in this building many, many years ago, and that is actually where the mural comes from on the wall as well. It is a man made up of hats that looks really, really creepy.
And Claudia has had some experiences.
Oh, yeah.
My name is Claudia. I am the manager here at the Charleston location of Franklin and Rose, and I have been here for 9 months. So I do believe the store is haunted, and I'll tell you why. There are multiple instances where things are happening in the store, and it's usually when no one else is in the store, it's just me. And the other girls have had experiences as well that just don't make sense. But I've had a shirt fall off of a wall rack, and it literally, I was just sitting there was no draft. I don't even think the doors were open that day because I was like, well, maybe the breeze, and that also didn't make sense. The AC wasn't on. The light also wasn't moving, and normally that will spin if there's airflow. And the shirt just flew off of the rack and fell to the floor. And I remember sitting there and just thinking like, okay, someone's here with me and I don't know about it. So that had happened. It's happened again where clothing fell off a rack by this front window. Again, no one else was in the store. And then this door, which these are all very like heavy doors that lock or they shut completely. That door, I looked over here and I know it was closed and it was open. I know it was closed beforehand. So yeah, we think he's friendly, but he's definitely here. It's definitely haunted.
So, leading up to opening Blowing Rock, while we're doing the renovation, Charleston and Florida included, they both still had to be stocked with inventory. So when I ordered this inventory, I knew that some of it had to be in Charleston. So instead of shipping it to Blowing Rock and then having to pay additional shipping to ship it down to Charleston or vice versa, we thought that for the, $1,000 that it would cost us to come here and stay, it would be around the same as shipping it from Charleston to us or from us to Charleston. So that way we spent the same amount of money, but we got a little bit of an experience out of it. And so a positive to that is we'll just get to save on shipping and pick up the inventory ourselves instead. And we found furniture here.
It would have been cheaper to ship the items because this one likes expensive dinners.
Barely cheaper.
Would have been cheaper.
Barely. So I ran this business practically by myself for the first 3 years that it was in operation. So I've always wanted to expand, and one part of expansion that was a little bit difficult for me was letting go of just the micromanaging details. So I had to do my best to just train the staff to operate in the same exact way that I would, and then trust that they would do that, and they're all doing a great job. So they've made it easy letting go of the process, but there's definitely a little bit of a challenge in letting go of that control.
Yeah. Our Charleston staff is fantastic. Specifically, our store manager, Claudia, is incredible.
Charleston operates like a well-oiled machine because of the entire staff, but Claudia, she does really wonderful work. She keeps everyone organized. She's a really wonderful communicator. Yeah, she's just great. I love Claudia. I love her as our manager, and I love her as my friend.
So I got involved with Franklin & Rose through TikTok. I found Leah when I saw her post about moving to Charleston and looking for their second location for Franklin & Rose. And I had commented like, welcome, would love to meet up and just meet each other as friends and, you know, kind of give her a friend in Charleston. And then she saw that I sew tote bags and enjoy sewing myself. So she's like, well, I'd love to have someone that has that knowledge in the store. And I had previous knowledge of working in a store and managing a boutique store. So really, we met each other and everything was kind of rolling after that very quickly. So, yeah.
I just think that it's so cool that like she found a way to take all of her passions in life and create jobs out of them.
A jack of all trades.
She's a great manager and she's a very cool person.
I like gardening a lot. I love horticulture and learning about plants and doing kind of horticulture design. And then I also raise butterflies. So in the summer months when the monarch migration happens, I plant milkweed and make sure I have all the host plants necessary for monarchs. And I also just enjoy raising them and releasing them. I just redid the flower boxes and flower pots in front of the store. And it's fun to kind of figure out what it's going to look like each season and take care of them and whatnot. So it's really fun that I get to kind of mix in my own interests with the store.
Florida operates like a well-oiled machine as well because we have a great manager down there too, Jada Lynn. She's been with us from the very beginning whenever we opened the Bartow, Florida store. And I think that just sets off a really good tone. Whenever you have managers or staff that start the store with you, they can get involved in opening it and it creates more of like a family environment than a work environment.
Yep, I agree.
So yeah, we've accomplished a lot in just our one day here, but there's still a lot on our to-do list today before we leave. We have to pick up the furniture that we purchased yesterday. We have to load all of the inventory that we're taking to Blowing Rock into the truck, hopefully in a neat, organized manner. Hopefully while we're here this week, Jim is up in the store just kind of buttoning up some last minute things. We're fixing the last thing that was damaged from the previous tenant. And he's also finishing the lights. He has just 2 more pendant lights and a chandelier to install. And then I think the space will look like it's ready for furniture and ready for inventory.
And then the exterior work starts.
Yes, we had to wait to get an exterior change permit to get our paint colors approved because we do want to paint the outside. Right now it's just gray and kind of dull, and like if it's a cloudy sky, it like just blends with the building, and that's like not at all what we're going for. No. So we're gonna paint it a beautiful sage green with some white trim, and it'll look great, but it is a big building. So we haven't decided yet if we're gonna hire out for that or do it ourselves, but it's definitely something that we have to tackle within this next week.
Yep. Our tentative opening date is May 17th. As it gets closer, it feels as if we're further behind than the previous week. So another delay that's contributing to the possibility of the delayed opening to the store is our last final piece that's going to add a lot of character to our store keeps getting delayed. So it started off on a delivery date of, I believe, April 26th, which was this week. Mm-hmm. And then it's been delayed now for another week.
Yes, but it's on the truck. It's on the way.
On the way now.
It's on the way now. We'll have them by Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 6th. But hopefully we'll get it installed that same week, and it'll be one of the final touches to the space.
Yep. But if you go back...
I don't think I hired him to be my boss.
Well, if you go back, she did say, I am the timekeeper, the time scheduler. This is the micromanaging part.
Self-proclaimed timekeeper. I didn't hire him to do this. I hired him to help me with emails. So yeah, Charleston.
So you can say something.
You can start with like when we were looking to open a second.
Yeah, when we were looking to expand.
Yeah, okay.
Erected.